Ahoy and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. Can you guess where I've just been? That's right, the Christopher Ward showroom in the UK. It's in Maidenhead, and for those of you that didn't know, I live in Maidenhead. I'm only a 5-minute walk up the road from them, so it's no trouble for me to trot down there and, well, borrow a couple of watches. There's 2 watches inside of here. Unfortunately, one of them I'm not allowed to show you, not yet anyway. Later on in the year I can, but yeah, they've lent me a very, very new watch to get my hands on it for 24 hours or so, take some footage and then produce a video when they're ready to share it with the world. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much about that watch. But while I was down there, I spoke to Patrick and I said, please, can I borrow a 12? Because, well, firstly, I've never seen a 12. I've never got my hands on one, so I want to review it. That's sort of what I'm going to do in today's video. But the main purpose of borrowing one was to include it in my steel comparison video. I think it's a fantastic watch to really zoom in and have a good look at the steel finishing and compare to 5 other watches. So yeah, make sure you come back and watch that video when it's live. But yeah, stick around for today because, well, I'm going to show you a really, really nice 12. Now, before I started filming this video, I did something I don't like to do, and I don't usually do it, to be honest. I went onto YouTube to have a look at some other reviews of this watch, have a look at some thumbnails and some video titles, because I was curious to see what other reviewers were saying about this watch. And I don't like to do that because I like to have my own fresh opinions at the forefront of my mind when I'm producing my videos. I don't want to be influenced by what other people are saying, but I was just really curious to see how much other reviewers were hyping this watch because, well, there's no doubt about it, this watch made a huge splash when it was launched, and, well, people are still producing videos on this watch today. Well, I am. And I think that's because it's worth it. Christopher Ward no longer considered a micro brand. I think they are now a fairly well-established global brand, aren't they? They sponsor a Premier League football team, for goodness sake. So yeah, I just don't see micro brands being able to do that. They have established themselves globally as a major player in the, well, I was going to say affordable watch market, but they're producing some pretty incredible watches now. The Bel Canto, for example, probably now their best known watch. Yeah, that watch has a pretty substantial waiting list, and it's not exactly affordable, is it? Now, that particular watch wasn't really my thing. I didn't feature it on my channel, but this watch is 100% the sort of watch that gives me tingles. So I'm pleased to say I don't think too many people have been overhyping this watch. I think the hype is justified. I was a little bit irritated when I saw some reviews of watches like, well, the Citizen Soyosa. So I still don't know how to say that. But anyway, some people were saying it's a Rolex killer. I mean, please, really? What a load of nonsense. But anyway, yeah, what people have been saying about this watch, I think, has been completely justified. Now, they have been saying, oh, you know, best watch under $1,000. The truth is, if you want this watch for less than $1,000, you're going to have to get it without the stainless steel bracelet. And the reality is, who wants this watch without the stainless steel bracelet? So the truth is, if you want this watch for under $1,000, well, you're probably not going to be able to buy it for under $1,000 because you're going to want it with the bracelet, and therefore it's over $1,000. But it's worth it, quite honestly. Paying the extra money for this watch on the stainless steel bracelet just makes this watch, because really, this watch is all about the integrated bracelet, and wow, what a bracelet. Now, I mentioned in the introduction, I got this watch, or I borrowed this watch, I should say, primarily to feature in a stainless steel finishing comparison video, because I had a feeling it would be well finished. Now, it will be going up against other watches that are more affordable. Some watches, well, the Venetian Eco, for example, I think is around $800, so it's in a sort of similar ballpark. But the first stainless steel finishing comparison video showed us that, yeah, price isn't really a factor when you're looking at finishing. Some watches that are very, very affordable can be finished incredibly well, and some watches that are very, very expensive can have ropey stainless steel finishing. So I'm not going to be talking about the stainless steel finishing too much in this particular video. You're going to have to come back and watch that comparison video to have a look at all 6 watches side by side. But I can tell you it looks impressive. Now, I've borrowed this 36mm Nordic blue version. This is not a brand new watch. I think it was a watch that they had in their showroom in Maidenhead. So it's been handled by quite a few people. I've given it a really, really good clean. There's going to be a few scratches on it here and there, but yeah, that's expected. And all the other watches that will be featuring in that comparison video will also have been handled by me quite a lot, worn by me, so none of the watches will be brand new. And to be honest, that's not really what we're looking at. We're looking at the finishing, not the current condition. But yeah, this is the watch that I've been lent, and I like the size actually. I didn't spend too much time comparing the two sizes. If I was to buy one, I'm undecided as to which size I would want, 40mm or 36mm. But yeah, it's a great looking watch, isn't it? Love the dial. Love those applied indices, love the hands, it's a stunner, no doubt about it. I'm not wild about the crown guards. They just look a little bit long, like they've been extended too much, I don't know. That element on the case I'm not convinced by, but the side profile is gorgeous. I mean, it is impressive, isn't it? There's no denying it. Looking at the list of specifications on their websites, I think you're going to struggle to find any weaknesses, to be honest. Sapphire sandwich AR coating, 100 meters of water resistance, Sellita SW200 movement, butterfly clasp, but they've given you lots of smaller links. Basically, they've given you the ability to micro adjust this bracelet, just like you would be able to with a sort of standard outer shell with lots of holes on it. On a dive watch, it's done differently, that's all. So really pleased to see that they have given us that flexibility, because that is one thing that some manufacturers get wrong. So yeah, for this watch, the clasp is perfect. It's not a dive watch. The bracelet is gorgeous. You get that continuation of the bracelet all the way around your wrist. These are the watches that should have butterfly clasps, as long as you, like I've said, give that ability to adjust it to a macro level or micro level, which they have done. That's great. I love the way it integrates into the case as well. The finishing on the bracelet, that mix of brushed and polished finishing is fantastic. Now, the brushing is actually quite coarse, and I like that because there's no confusion on this watch in terms of which surfaces are brushed and which surfaces are polished. Sometimes with watches, the brushing can be so fine, it's just very satin-like, and so yeah, it's not always that obvious which surfaces are polished and which are brushed, but there's no confusing it on this watch. The brushing is, really quite coarse. The loom is good as well. I've already filmed the 5-minute loom degradation clip. A fantastic loom. It's lasted pretty well over those 5 minutes. Crown action is nice. The winding action is nice. I like the SW200. You've got a custom rotor on the back. I mean, just look at it, honestly. I wish I'd got this watch on the channel sooner, actually. I don't think I realised just how good it was. For me, it is their best watch. If I was going to buy a Christopher Ward, it would undoubtedly be a 12, I think. Although I haven't really spent much time with their other watches. I suspect if I had some of their other watches on the channel, I think they were also very, very good. I'm pleased to see that there's no Trident on the second hand, because that is something that puts me off some of their watches, some of their divers. But yeah, it wouldn't look right on this watch, would it? And look at the dial. Love that texture. The logo as well, beautifully finished on the dial. I mean, what are the weaknesses? And I haven't even mentioned it's Swiss made, although that doesn't carry too much weight with me, I have to say. I may be in a minority, but Swiss made is a little bit of a marketing thing. Swiss made doesn't mean the whole watch is made in Switzerland. Yeah, if you want to know more about that, I know Mark actually from Long Island Watches has done some videos recently, some content explaining what Swiss made means, and yeah, you'd be surprised. It's not necessarily all it's cracked up to be, but still, I know some people like to have Swiss made on the dial, so I think it's probably a good decision from Christopher Ward to have their watches fall into that category. Yep, I'm impressed, no doubt about it. Very, very good watch. I don't think people have overhyped this one, I have to say. I think generally the hype is justified, and if they continue to produce watches like this, this brand is just going to fly, isn't it? It's just going to do so well, I think, and yeah, I'm pleased for them. Nice to have them just down the road. Yeah, right guys, yeah, let me know what you think of the watch and the video in the comments section, and make sure you subscribe, hit the like button and the bell notifications icon so that you don't miss out on that steel finishing comparison video that I will be making very, very soon. I keep talking about it, but yeah, I'm going to get there eventually.